Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And in today's stream, I'm going to be trying to continue with this animation I'm working on. And I actually forgot to pull out my storyboard, so let me actually pull that out real quick. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Yep, there is my storyboard. So I'm just going to take a look at this, see where I need to call and recollect on it. I've already blocked out some of the big frames in the animation. Now I just need to go back through and add some more character details, like say the hair or certain pieces of clothing, articles of clothing. I also want to make sure that the head size and the head shape is consistent. So that's going to be quite fun. Quite fun indeed. Okay. So last I left off, I was actually working on this frame segment right here. We have the character, he's sort of looking around, and then it's supposed to cut to the yellow character, the one that I drew in the previous scene on the rooftop, right here towards the end. How she goes around and she sort of walks into a portal and disappears. It's then supposed to cut to her, and she's sort of like coming out, appearing, and then she's going to be walking into a building that's going to be right here. And I'll just block that out real quick. And I'm actually supposed to be drawing some. What was it that I was supposed to be drawing again? Oh, yeah. So, where she's located right here is also supposed to be down here on the floor. So once I go back to this scene right here, it's going to show Nancy off to the side right here with his crowd of people around him, and then she's supposed to be walking into a building that's off to the side over here. So yeah, that's the general consensus or the general idea of what I'm going for. Now I just need to block out some more stuff as well as in between a little bit. Let me turn on my onion skin real quick. And we're going to get our brush. I'm definitely gonna have to go back and try to make this more graceful, but for now, I'm just trying to put down like the rough motion of the character. But yeah, this is not how a lady walks. Well, I mean, not to say that I'm some authority on women, but like, at least for Trina as a character, she's a lot more graceful in her cadence. That's just more so to push the storyboard along. Also, her model's a bit too big right here, so let me actually decrease the size a little bit. But essentially, she enters in, she does like a little land, a little stumble, but she catches herself and sort of fixes her hair like she's supposed to be, like pushing her hair out of her face a little bit. That's what these two frames are for. And then that's when she starts walking in. You know, I think it's because I have her legs extended a bit too much. Like, despite her walking, she wouldn't extend her legs that much. And also, again, because she's a lady, she would also have her back more so out and extended. And then her arm wouldn't be that outstretched either. And then for her head, it would also come up a little bit. I guess it's just because like subconsciously I try to show every single detail, even though because it's 2D animation, there's not really a pressing need to expose every detail. So that's something I'm gonna have to work on mentally, at least for this piece. So I'm working on this in between right here, but upon further investigation, it definitely appears as though, how do I put it? Like from this frame to this one, it definitely looks as though there's going to be more movement in the head rather than the body as a whole. And what I can do is I can probably just have one in between for the body. And then when it comes to the head, that's when I will. Well, no, because the neck is moving also. So I might as well just cut my losses and just go ahead and animate every single body frame because I am trying to push that sort of. Hmm. Wait, 31 to 38. So that's going to be 7. So I think what I might end up doing is I won't in between the frame after 31, but this midpoint right here, I'll just add 2 frames because I still want to have that sort of slowing or that ease that goes into the frame. Another thing I've gotten into doing is, excuse me, another thing I've gotten into doing is while I wait or like while I stream, I've also been doing some stock exchanging on the side. Like I'll draw a little bit, then I'll check the stock market, then I'll draw a bit more. I need to get back into just putting do not disturb mode on my phone so then it doesn't ring out. But yeah, sometimes I'll be checking my phone because I'll be checking the stock market. And then if I make a gain or like make a sizable gain, then I'll sell my stock and wait a little bit before I sell some more. Like I did make $1.76 on 10-cent stock, and it's not really in that time of year for me to get a dividend from it, so there's really no incentive for me to keep it any for any long term amount of time. Because it was right there at 180 and then it jumped down to like 175. Which I mean, a gain is a gain. Now, realty income that has jumped up to $2.87 of my total return, but I'm not really sure if I should sell that yet or keep it because it's October the 18th. So I don't know if my dividend for that will be registered yet. Let's see here. It's saying to hold. Yeah, Tencent is falling off right now. I might as well just sell it. I mean, if I'm being honest, the stock market is really just one big game of chance. Honestly, it's better than gambling. I say that as a joke. You shouldn't gamble at all, but getting in the stock market is better than gambling because at the very least you have a more consistent gains and losses. When I was first starting out, I didn't know half of what I was doing, and so I just bought a bunch of growth stocks, and then I let it sit for a few days, and then I wouldn't say I lost a lot of money, but some of my stuff is definitely gravely in the red, and it's from some things that I didn't even know about. So now I just have to hold on to them and pray that they rise again. But that's what I do. I just check out my total returns, and then if the total return looks good, then I purchase it. If it don't look good, then I don't mess with it. You also have to make estimated guesses. Like I would say if you're getting into the stock market, don't purchase stocks in something that you don't know. Like for me personally, I primarily trade stocks in media and entertainment. So I do have a few stocks in oil just so I can get those monthly dividends. But for the most part, a lot of the stocks I purchase are gonna be in internet are gonna be in entertainment. So like I have stocks in Tencent, I have stocks in CD Project Red. Sometimes I'll trade stocks with Nintendo and I'll buy it when it's low and sell it when it gets like real high. I'm constantly trading with IBM. No, I'm not really a baller. I'm not a baller yet. Like I have like about $300 in my stock account, and then what I do is I've made like about $50 trading stocks, but that's been over the course of a while. But my dividends, I've actually made quite a lot of dividends. So I've really just been trying to play the patient game and seeing how far I can go with it. I mean, low key, I think I get it from my mom because, like, she's like major into lottery. Like, sometimes she'll buy lottery tickets, I want to say either last week or the week before last, she actually had a, she had a trip to Vegas with my great cousin, or not my great cousin, but my cousin once removed, so her direct cousin. And like they went to Vegas. My mom was playing the slot machine. She had a bunch of stories to tell me when she got back. Like, so I think that's where I get it from. Where I'm less on chance and more on consistency. You know, low key, that is a bit of an untapped market. Like, I do think that MMO games, they need to have more. This is gonna sound crazy. This is gonna sound wild, but like I do think that more MMO games need to have like their own version of gambling or their own version of like the stock market. That'd be pretty interesting. Like you play Final Fantasy 14, and there's like a stock market where you can place bets on if a raiding team is going to beat a boss. I mean, technically there is taxes in some online games. Like you have your retainer in Final Fantasy 14, and they sort of have like taxes for if you put them in a certain city or whatever. But like, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to. I don't know, spice things up in the gaming scene. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Just indulge my craziness for like 10 seconds. Or don't even indulge it at all because, like I said, I'm crazy. That actually gets me thinking about like what sort of fun sort of commodities would be in the world of my show, in the world of Seven Stages. I don't think there would be a lot of gambling, but there would definitely be like a magical underground to the world. Like there would be people trying to learn magic as well as learn more in-depth spells. Cuz like you have to think about it, like this is a world where everyone learns that magic is a thing and everyone has access to magic. So it's like, how would our world react if magic was more so on the forefront? Like, I am a Christian man, so I do believe in magic. Like, I believe in magic. I believe in the spiritual world. I do genuinely believe that as much as we know, there's more we don't know. But because we have people who are non believers, or rather people who glorify God but do not recognize what God warns us about, because again the Bible does warn about like there were sorcerers in Egypt. Like the Pharaoh had his own sorcerers. They had their own gods that they followed. I believe it was not Elijah. Was it Elijah? But basically there was this king, an Israelite king, I believe. He consulted a divinationist and God told him not to, and then he got cursed, and then he ended up dying because he consulted that divinationist. So, like, the supernatural does exist, but for some reason, people just choose not to believe in the spiritual. And then you have people who they may believe in the spiritual, but they don't want you to believe in it, which is very dangerous. And personally, I believe that's its own witchcraft. Like people who don't want others to believe in the spiritual, even though a lot of what we are experiencing today in today's world could be chalked up to spiritual issues. I mean, God did say that you were going to be persecuted. So, like, you just got to believe what you believe. And just because folks may not believe you, that doesn't mean you stop believing it. It's like if you know that everyone else sees that the sky is red, but you see it's blue, then you have to trust things for your own eyes. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I've seen like a what's it called? I'm not gonna say I've seen a skinwalker. Like, I haven't seen a skinwalker. I've never had experiences where someone's casted a curse on me, and then I have ghosts coming to me in my dreams, or I have like this shadow that I'll see in the corner of my eyes, or stuff in my room starts falling up. Like, that's never happened to me before. But I believe people when they say that they've met vampires or they've met energy vampires, because no matter what people say or do, there is a spiritual world that we are not privy to. Like, that's just objective reality. That's just fact that there are things that we're not privy to or we're not privy to yet that do happen, that is real, and people just don't want others to know about it or acknowledge it. There are some people who are very much like, don't talk about it, it's not real, or if you don't talk about it, if you don't think about it, then nothing will happen. When in actuality, the reason why folks are experiencing some of, or if not all of the issues that they have is because they refuse to acknowledge that spiritual aspect of things. And that's not to say, oh, live in constant fear. I don't believe anyone should live in constant fear. That's why you walk by faith, not by sight. Like, I've definitely had very, very spiritual dreams. Like, I've had dreams about. It's actually really funny, but like, I've had dreams about video games. I've had dreams about like things happening to me. There's definitely been moments and times where spirits will come to me and like they'll try to tempt me. But then like I'll cry blood of Jesus and then they'll freeze. And there was actually this one time I was dreaming. Um there was this one time I was dreaming and it was while my mom was actually away on her Vegas trip. And it was like I was in this submarine looking restaurant and there was this guy, like this white dude in like a black suit, and he had like blonde hair, and he's trying to say like, "Oh, I'm God," and I said, "Are you really God?" And so then he said like, "Yeah, I'm God," and then I said God's true name, like I said Yahweh, and then when I said that, the dude freaking froze. And then I said it again, like Yahweh, and he froze again. And like he was actually, the dude was actually getting like physically upset when I kept saying Yahweh. And so then the spirit, the man who, the man in the suit, like he stood up and he actually tried to grab me by my throat and he was trying to like do something to me, like place his lips or something on me, and I was just like pushing away. And then it was like my eyes and my hair were on fire, and like I pushed the dude back, and then the dream ended. So I don't know. It felt like because it felt like a spirit or something was trying to curse me or inhabit me in some way. But because I called on God, like I became spiritually supercharged or something, and I was able to get that spirit off of me. I mean, it was certainly wild. It was certainly crazy. I mean, I don't know if I should treat it like a parlor trick or anything, but if anyone asks, I'll tell them again. I'll say, hey, there was this demon or ghost that tried to get me, but I called on God and I pushed it away. But like, yeah, I'm a firm believer that there's more stuff that's going on in the world than we know. There's definitely more stuff going on in the world than we know or are privy to, and we just have to be careful and conscious of it. But don't live in fear. Like that's the worst thing you can do is try to live in fear. Don't live in fear. Don't be scared. Just go by faith and have faith. And things usually tend to work themselves out. That's just how it's been with me is I've gone by faith and then things will just eventually work themselves out for you. Hmm. And it looks like EA is on an upward trend, so I'll buy about $25 of their stock. But yeah, I'm drawing 1 second and working on the stock market the next second. So that's my day. That's how I get down over here. And it seems I got one concurrent viewer. Hello, hello. Welcome to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. How are you doing today? Right now, I'm just in betweening on this frame. Okay, I just need to in between two more frames and then I should be good. So this is 31. 31 to this midpoint right here. So I'm going to add a frame right here. That's actually pretty good. Timing charts are really useful. Really, really useful. I mean, you're supposed to be using timing charts, but sometimes it does help to just come down from it all and notice, like, yeah, I've been trying to do this one way for a long time, but ever since I started using timing charts, it's like things got better. Like that's really the small things that I like and I enjoy about art is noticing that with time and over time, you notice that things get better or you are more appreciative of what you learn and discover and the long-term help that has provided you. Now to work on the arms. And that's going to be, I'm not going to say the most difficult part, but it's definitely going to be interesting. So, I think first I should, well, let me actually look at the segment as a whole. So I do think I want to use these keyframes that I established earlier to do some more keyframing. Hmm. Now this arm right here, I may actually have to redraw it, just because the shoulder is being brought up some. So there's going to be some foreshortening that's taking place. I think that's a good in between, and it leaves me room to go back over when I add more detail on my second pass. To sort of add things like actual knuckles, but for now, this is just to get the overarching gesture of the animated motion. How long have I been streaming? An hour and 15 minutes? That's actually pretty good. Now, on the side, I have been working on a small art piece because I do plan on just having general talks. I mean, I know that's what my live streams are for. My live streams are mainly to have these live moments where I can talk off the cuff. But I do, in fact, want to get more into my digital paintings as well as just digital art in general and just work on a character piece or work on an art piece while talking about different subjects. So I have a nice piece I'm working on that I want to share, that I also want to just give my thoughts and feelings about, mainly about faith and about art in faith, because sadly, what happens is, at least when it comes to like the old guard of Christians and Christianity, it's like you're either in Christ or you're secular. And directly speaking, that is true, but there's an unsung like avenue for believers who are artists, for believers who are animators. Like really, like how many good Christian pieces can you think of? Like really only the Prince of Egypt. And that's really sad because the Bible has so much potential for storytelling. And I've said this dozens of times during my streams. But like the Bible has so much potential for storytelling, not just retellings of already pre-existing Bible stories, but taking the different lessons and the different concepts in the Bible and expanding them into flourishing stories. Like that general idea of like loss and death and the history of the Old and New Testament, of only buying yourself safety for a time, and that constant persecution of your flesh, as well as just giving up on things and desires to serve a higher purpose. Like, Has Been Hotel was a project that I was always looking forward to, but it did drop the mark. And I'm not going to be one of those Christians who say, like, oh, Has Been Hotel is satanic, because it does have certain moments and places where it drops the mark, but I won't overtly call it satanic or demonic. There was potential there, and I do think that the show could have benefited from consulting an actual priest or consulting a person who is more knowledgeable on the religious side of things, other than just being a show about characters trying to be good and kind in order to make it back into heaven. Like, there's more to it than just being good or kind. It's about righteousness. It's about doing the right and just thing. It's about giving up on your desires to serve a greater purpose, to willingly give yourself over to a higher being. Like, that's the big thing when it comes to works that draw inspiration from religion, and specifically the Abrahamic ones. That's pretty good. Let's see now. Now, the final scene, I can actually wait for the end because there's not really much that goes into it. It's actually going to be a cut back to. Um, it's actually going to be a cut back to this scene right here. So I can leave that for later. Hmm. That's pretty good. I may need to play a bit more with the timing, but for now, what I have is good for just a nice general rough pass. And then I can go back through and. Yeah, the main thing that I'm really worried about, well, not really worried about, but want to get done, is I just want to add more detail because while I got the basic gesture, I don't really have those smaller details that's going to more so carry the animation forward. So that's really the next big thing I want to work on and get ready for. And it looks like my stocks are doing pretty good, so I don't have to harp too much on that. So I think I'll leave them alone for the next hour or two. And let's see. An hour and 24 minutes. That's pretty good. So really now, all I'm doing is just playing the waiting game. So like working on this animation, and then I start my job actually next week. Because of what happened with Hurricane Milton, they decided to cancel the event that was happening the day before yesterday. So Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, Wednesday. There was supposed to be an event Wednesday, but they decided to cancel it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just deal with that. Um, so next week, the 25th, is going to be when I start. And downtown Raleigh is having a sort of a night tour. Raleigh isn't really known for much, except for being a bit of a grid city, at least in the downtown area. And there's also a few historic, like, black neighborhoods here and there. So that's pretty good. Um, Raleigh is just a very Bible Belt, like, nice city. Every city has their issues, but I haven't experienced any yet. Thank God. Um, so yeah, I start work next week, and that should be pretty good. I should be squared away with that. I'm still working on this animation, and now I'm just at the phase where I want to add more character details. I'm also gonna have to start working on backgrounds as well as like buildings and props and stuff like that. Then there is the art piece I said I was working on. I'm gonna be working on that in a minute. So let me actually save this real quick. So I have the art piece and the audio for it um that I need to record. I have this animation that I'm working on. Eventually, I do want to make a VTube model. I just don't know how I'm gonna go about it because I don't really have any money to make a VTubing model. I could probably use Adobe Character Animator, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll figure out something. So probably after this stream, I'll open up Character Animator and figure out a way to do that. Oh, that's going to be taxing on the RAM. It's a good thing I bought a gaming PC. That was a good decision on my part to buy a gaming PC. And then I'll probably just try to follow a guide or tutorial on making a streaming puppet. And that'll be good. That'll be my own little thing. Anyway, I am kind of burnt out. I try to have my Friday streams be my extra long ones, but for this, uh, I reached the benchmarks that I wanted to reach. So I'm probably just gonna call this stream here for today. I do hope you all enjoyed, and definitely catch my streams on the replay because I've noticed that a lot of my streams get more traction on replays rather than live. So that's pretty good. That's pretty nice. I do hope you all enjoyed what I got done today. I stream on Tuesdays and Fridays. I usually start around noon. And actually, my mom just pulled us the driveway, so I'm about to go outside and meet her. So anyway, yeah, this has been Owoh's Corner. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share even if you want to. This has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And I'll see you guys in my next video or live stream.